there is a student wanting to learn. And in every student, there is a professional waiting to earn. And so the most successful students are students who start behaving like professionals while they're studying. And the most successful professionals are professionals who behave like students because they're always learning while they're professionals. That's how success is, because you're playing on both worlds simultaneously. Okay? So now remember, in the second year of my PhD, there was a British Council grant called Shine Awards. Okay, so these are actually still running. It was designed to celebrate international students who have taken advantage of the UK environment. Can you guess? I won the award in the entire UK, the best international student by British Council. And I was received by the Prime Minister then was Tony Blair. I make this sound really old. That's how he was the Prime Minister.
That's an achievement.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. So there's a reception by Prime Minister and Tony Blair. This best international award was on every national daily newspaper. And to apply for the award, that did about 2,000 applications across the entire UK, and I was number one. You supposed to write a simple letter to somebody you know, explaining. I want to paint a picture, explaining what you've done with the UK government. So at the time, I was like a postgraduate rep. I had written a book of poetry. By the way, my PhD was in environmental management. And there was nothing environmentally inclined in the book of poetry. It was a poetry about love and romance. But it was a passion of mine. So I remember I had written a book of poetry at the time. I published it. I had done some work with care homes. I volunteered. So literally, the reason I won the award was for everything else besides the course I was studying. Does that make sense? Yeah. That's what the UK government gives to every international student, which many don't take advantage of. Okay? Now, if you not did assessment, after I got the award, it now took over. It came to the point where my supervisor called me and says, Akan, if you don't sit down, Doc is laughing. So if you don't sit down, you won't finish this PhD. So I sat down and I finished it. But can you believe that when I was a student, I had formed an NGO, okay? Excellent Foundation. Gentlemen, there is no rule or regulation that says you can't do that. Go and check. A small NGO, and all we were doing was bringing together international students from all over the UK. The first one was, it would be like this. Lancaster, my university hosted it and sponsored it. That's something else many students don't realize. Your university wants to help you. They literally want opportunity to help you. But the point is, you never actually ask them for anything. Because as far as you're concerned, once you've done the course and you've gotten the degree, you've been helped. Says who? So I wrote to my faculty. I said, faculty, I've paid so much money. It's not a joke coming to study here. I want to organize a conference. So they say, what do you need? I want all your hall free of charge. There's a printing press on campus. Print all the brochures at no cost. You will have accommodation. Anyone that is spare, give to all my participants at half the price. And everything I asked, it was tick. I was in literal shock at all they gave till the first conference happened. I ended the first conference, true story. I went home. It was nice event with some, maybe two or three friends of mine put it together. I think we had about 100 or so international students from all over the UK. A few days after, I got an email from a university, it was Manchester Metropolitan. I got an email from Hall, an email from 3 or 4 universities, and they were asking me, hey Akan, can we be the host of this conference next year?
Wow.
So I said, wait a minute, I think I've hit the jackpot. So what do you think I did? I just put together what I called a hosting crew, like hosting committee. So we felt like Olympic committee going to go and assess universities if they are worthy of hosting my event. This is true story. For the next 10 years, that became the biggest, you can Google it by the way, International Conference of Nigerian Students, ICON, that now moves to become the International Student Conference for Africa. For like 10 years, we were getting bids from UK University to host that event because I didn't just sit down and just say I only came to do a master's in environmental rehabilitation. And therein lies the point. So, fundamental premise. Everybody in this room, whether you're a professional or a student, the reason you're in existence, your career basis, is because you're solving a problem. The question is, how are you able to innovate on the problems you are solving or trying to solve? That's where you grow. That's where sustainability of career is coming. Okay? Let's talk about partnerships for a minute. Just last 2 weeks ago, I flew into Nigeria with a professor from Lancaster University, and we signed about 2 agreements. So basically, this professor has become my business partner. Can you guess who the professor is? It was my PhD supervisor. Many students don't realize that your first partner is the person very close to you. So in your department, every professor you see is a potential guest speaker in a potential event. Every academic you see is a potential business advisor in your newfound company. Every academic you see, you walk past the street, is a potential advisory board member in your new enterprise. Because they are there. Interestingly, and I discovered this very, very quickly, they are looking for opportunities to play the game in an African market where they are totally unknown. I'll paint a picture. Has anybody in this room ever published a paper? Like any research paper? Okay. No, of course you've published. Okay. So, if you're somebody here and your inclination, so I'm giving you different scenarios. Okay? I was going to tell you how to do this differently. So if you're a master's degree student and you want to go do a PhD, what is the biggest issue you might face? Funding. It's funding to do a PhD. It's 3 years. You can survive 1 year paying for a 1 year master. If you pay for yourself for 3 years PhD, you will die. Like literally, it's the only way I can explain it. You are in trouble. So it means funding is the fundamental premise for funding a PhD. But it's a very simple way of getting the PhD funding. People haven't figured out. So try this very simple exercise. And trust me, I've known people who have done it many times and it works all the time. In your department, okay, the first thing you want to understand is find out which academics are doing core research in your area of interest. Action point 1. So it requires some Googling, some finding out. This in your faculty, which academics are doing amazing research in your area of specialty. That's point 1. Point 2, find out which academics are publishing a lot of papers. Okay? And you would know, because they will always promote the next paper they publish. And if you look at their profile, if you see the first paper, 2020, the last one, 1915, you know this one, it is not published right. But if you look at their profile and you see 2020, 2020, in 1 year, then you see 2021, 7 papers, and that's your potential partner. How am I saying so? The reason is this. In the UK, go find out, anybody who published a lot of paper, the simple premise is they have access to a lot of grants. Doc knows this. Anybody who published a lot of papers, go find out, they have access to a lot of grants. That's the person you want to make your core partner. And it begins with a simple email. Okay? Dear Professor Labaja, upon careful investigation, sir, I discovered that you published like so and so paper in the last 2 years. I've critically reviewed your papers, and I'm begging you in God's name, guys, before you write this email, read the paper. To be a good start, right? Okay. Upon the review of the last papers, I discovered you analyze the systematics of leadership within the context of autonomy. It's all grammar. Yeah? But on careful investigation, you think that the dynamics might be different within a Nigerian context, specifically because of this, that, and the other. I might be open, sir, to a conversation to discuss this further. Do you know what you've just done? You just told that prof that he might be supersonic in doing leadership research in the UK. As far as Nigeria is concerned, he hasn't even begun. That guy won't sleep that night. I can assure you. You go for the meeting. Friends, this is a lecturer you see every time. That's your potential partner. To be able to set yourself up before you even finish your studies. You go for that meeting, you discuss. Now let me ask you a simple question. The next time this prof wins a grant to do leadership research, what do you think he might do differently? Talk to me. What might he do differently? Now he's had this conversation with you, and you've shown him that he hasn't considered different things within the African context. So what might he do differently by the time he's applying for a new grant, for a new leadership grant opportunity?
Funnel the grant money towards the areas.
He wants to find out, wait a minute, might you be a potential partner in my new grant to provide me this African context you critique my last paper about? That's how you begin to form potential friendships for a funded PhD. It's very simple. Literally, the opportunity is right in your department. You only haven't thought about it differently. Follow me? Okay? Now, these guys publish papers. And if you read their papers, you're probably asking me, well, how do I know who they are? Interestingly, every paper would have corresponding author. So there's an email literally on top of the paper. People read these papers and do reports on it, but they never find an opportunity to do an email to the author. So you've been quoting this guy for 5 years or for 2 years in your report, but he doesn't even know you exist. Why should you do that? Do an email, sir. I've just been writing an essay in my so and so module, and I read your paper on this, and I found it very interesting. I'm a master's degree student in so and so, and I'm interested in this so and so and so and so. That's all you have to do. But you've registered yourself in that person's nomenclature. It's intentionality. The next time you're walking past Cambridge, any of the business district, any company you see, ask yourself a simple question. Which product or system or service do they have that is a potential solution to a problem in Africa, in your country? Maybe with some levels of adoptions or adaptability or adaptations. That's your entry point. Why would you want to reinvent the wheel when there is literally a company down the road looking for someone to come and say, let me be your Nigerian rep, your Kenyan rep? You'll be in shock at how fast you can grow just from beginning from a simple premise of intentionality. I want to end with this. And it's okay to answer many questions. I've got a million things to say, but that's fine. Okay? I discovered a very terrible, I won't say terrible, maybe that's a wrong word, but it's a bad culture, especially with Africans, for a special reason. So I'll paint the picture this way. Your primary school was in Kenya. Your secondary school was in Kenya. Your university, first university, was in Kenya. You now had the opportunity of coming to the UK. And all the friends you have in the UK are Kenyans. Isn't there something fundamentally wrong with that premise? Especially when every university in the UK promotes themselves on a front page that we boast we have 100 nationals in our university. Now, there are three kinds of international students. Most people don't realize. It's either they are wealthy. Hello? I want to end with this premise. So you think differently. The three kinds of international students. It's either they are wealthy students, which is why they are able to afford the fees. Or number two, they are smart students, so they got a scholarship. Or number three, they are hustlers. Okay? They have the money, they don't have the money, they make a way. Because they understand the power of UK education. So you know that in whichever category you place a student, every student you see walking by you on campus is a potential partner. But for some reason, Nigerian students, we only click with Nigerians. You have enough of them at home. You are literally on campus with 100 other nationals. You just walked past the son. I'm saying this very seriously. You just literally walked past the son of the CEO of a top oil and gas company in Tanzania, and you're doing a master's in oil and gas engineering. But you've never spoken to this Tanzanian because of your Nigerian passport. It's a problem. It's a problem. So when you're walking down campus, open your eyes. Everybody is a potential partner. It was very, very funny. It came to the point on campus, which is the reason why, and I'm saying this with evidence of modesty. It even impacts the way I save numbers on my phone. If you call any country in Africa, I have a long, endless list of partners, CEOs, directors, professors, vice chancellors in any country. In fact, I begin to save the numbers on my phone beginning with the name of the country. Call any country. I'm saying it because I want to make you be more intentional in how you